Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite Purple Heart veteran, David Kendrick, owner of Lion Speaking Agency. In October is Disability Employment Awareness Month, and I want to share a story with you of something that I went through at an organization when it comes to being employed with a disability, how I overcame the issue that I had at work, and just give you all some motivation to get you over your hump if you're dealing with something at work when it comes to ADA law. Now, before I get into the story, let me qualify myself as an individual with a disability. I earned this right here, my Purple Heart, June 17th, 2007. I was in Iraq as a cavalry scout, and I got shot in both legs during a sniper's ambush. The sniper's bullet, it shattered my left leg, it shattered my femur, it clipped my sciatic nerve, and it hit my femoral artery as well. Bullet in my right leg just took out a bunch of just a big chunk of meat out of my leg, a lot of soft tissue damage, but my left leg took a brunt of the damage. And because the bullet clipped my sciatic nerve, somehow, I don't know all the medical terms behind it, but all the damage went to my foot. When I was in the hospital, I was stationed at Fort Carson. I recovered at Fort Evans Army Community Hospital at Fort Carson back in 2007. But the bullet clipped my sciatic nerve, and I lost a lot of mobility in my left foot to the point where I had to go get a Achilles lengthening procedure on my foot, where they just slice your Achilles and they make, I think, 3 small cuts in it, and they lengthen it just so you can get some more movement in your foot, because I was only able to move my foot up and down like this. I don't have, that side to side movement. And the bullet clipped my sciatic nerve, so I can't move the toes on my left foot anymore. And just like with any muscle, the muscles are going to atrophy. So my toes are slowly like this, almost to the point where you're walking on top of your toes, which is very painful, especially in the home on hardwood floors. Very painful. So when it comes to employment, as a veteran, what does every employer say? We want veterans. We love our troops, right? And then, hey, we love our disabled veterans, right? Well, let me tell you about an experience that I had with a Fortune 500 company down here in Atlanta. I was having an issue, a major issue relating to my disability. With some people who have a disability like mine, to an orthopedic injury, it's hard to walk up and down stairs. I have a handicap sticker. It's hard to walk from the back of the parking lot to the front of the parking lot, especially when you're trying to dress to impress and you're wearing dress shoes, you're wearing your loafers, you're wearing your slacks every single day. Wearing these shoes was destroying my feet. But what did they tell you? Dress for the job you want, not the job that you have. So I was wearing all these fancy shoes and these loafers that didn't give my toes any room to breathe on my left foot, and I was just having just the worst time. And there was an issue with work, not with my performance, but with attendance due to this issue. And I kept letting my employer know. And then what I noticed, there was a lot of other employees who were having the same issue that I was having. And I would find them outside before we go into work, and I would say, hey, are you guys having this same exact issue that I'm having? And they would say, yeah. And we've been having it for about 3 months now. So with me, being the advocate that I am, the Lion Speaking Agency, it represents having a heart to get on stage or get in front of whoever I have to advocate for others. I said, I know about ADA law because I had to deal with this before in Rochester. I know exactly what to do. Here's what we should do. And then it got quiet. Nobody wanted to do anything because the fear was, I don't want to cause a problem. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want a target on my back. And I'm fearful of retaliation. Let me be the first one to tell you that the ADA law is set up to protect individuals with disabilities. And I wasn't going to work for this organization, being a Purple Heart veteran that I am, being brought in because we love veterans, being all happy to work here with my brand new degree that I got using my GI Bill, and then having this issue with ADA law that's making me look like I'm not a good employee. I wasn't going to have that. And so I tried to let my coworkers know what we can do. Nobody wanted to do anything. So I went down to the EEOC by myself. That's where you go if you have a gripe with your employer. They don't accept everyone's case. I had to sit there in that office all day, do some stuff online first. The case got accepted. And then I went to arbitration. I went to arbitration all by myself. Me and this lawyer and the arbiter or mediator or whatever her name is. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had this big stack of papers, but she said, the arbiter or mediator, I can't forget, asked me, well, aren't you a little bit nervous? And I said, why would I be nervous? Because I have the ADA law protecting me. And then when we were in arbitration, I kept saying we, us, people at work. And then the mediator stopped the meeting and she said, David, you have to stop saying we because you're the only person here. You're the only person here. Even though everyone was having the same issue when it came to this ADA law, nobody wanted to speak up. Nobody wanted to come downtown with me. Everybody was afraid that they would lose their job. Even though I went as far as to point out that the ADA law that I felt was being broken at this employer, everybody was fearful of their job. So what ended up happening, I got a very, very, very favorable decision in my part, which surprised the hell out of me because I'm just, this, young dude, young disabled veteran entering corporate America for the first time, but I know my rights. I'm a Purple Heart veteran. You're not going to disrespect me or my service. You're not. You're just not. And when I got back to work, everybody was smiling. Hey, Dave, I see you got, your modification. What about us? And I had to say, well, what about y'all? Because nobody wanted to come downtown with me. And then you know what happened? I turned out to be the bad guy because I couldn't get the same modification for everyone else. So what I want to point out to everybody here when it comes to working with a disability, know your rights, know the law. Don't make a big noise about it. Don't cause any trouble. Don't do anything that's going to get you fired. Just point out the simple law. Go to HR. Do everything you can in your power to try to resolve the issue at the bottom level. Because that's even what arbitration is for. Is to solve everything as amicably as possible. To try to, cause the least amount of damage between both the company and the employer. And I ended up doing that, but because nobody else wanted to say anything, they didn't get their results that they wanted. And what ended up happening, I ended up moving away from that position, from that company as a whole. I moved on with my career. And those people, they never got their modifications that they needed to be successful employees there because they were afraid to advocate for themselves as individuals with disabilities. And with my disability, I hear it a lot, oh, you look just fine, because my injuries are to my lower half of my body and you can't see the scars that I have from getting shot unless I'm wearing shorts. But when you come to work every day, you suited and booted, you got your suit on, you got your tie on, you all buttoned up trying to be professional and all that, you can't really see the scars, so people don't know that the pain that I had in my foot, the damage that I had to my toes. So when people see me, a lot of people just see, that's just a big ass black dude. Ain't nothing wrong with him. But not knowing, hey, I am a veteran. These veterans that you say you want, I got shot by a sniper. I earn these rights, and I'm going to advocate for them. I'm going to advocate for others too, but you also have to advocate for yourself, because when it comes down to things like getting modifications in the workplace, nobody else can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to know how to advocate for yourself. Never be afraid to advocate for yourself. But most importantly, ADA law is here for you as an individual with a disability. Never be afraid to lose your job or be afraid of retaliation, because there's things to protect you with that too. All these whistleblower laws that we have up there, you are going to be protected. But don't let $45,000 a year keep you from getting the modifications that you want for your job because you're afraid of losing that salary. Be happy in your position by fighting for the modifications that you need for your disability. That's all I have for you for now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Kendrick, Purple Heart Veteran, your favorite Purple Heart Veteran, owner of Lion Speaking Agency. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and if you or your organization hires individuals with disabilities or have a passion for individuals with disabilities looking to hear a story, visit me at www.dkendrickjr.com and let's talk about me talking for you.